taxes. It ain't no shutting down. These soldiers built like linemen. They beat your ass, you hit the same timing. These suckers so Versace. I ain't got no Versace. Just pushing ammo, jungle ammo, and no all around me. I'm doing moving powder. This you won't got $1. This in the goofy while I'm choosing bitches trying to holler. I'm working 9 to 5. Got lipstick on my collar. I put that on who I can have it here. I feel on that. I feel on that, my dog. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I'm about to get on some cut those shit real quick. Some raw shit, you know I do. 144, let's get it. It's time to take. They come to rule the white man, they can run all they want. I walk their ass down like Casey B. I just fucking black boy from dusk to dusk. You can pay up to the game from weather break. I'm fucking smoke with Wi-Fi. Something about that girl, you know what's the boy? How the fuck got it lit? How does the house fire and the body quick? You how to flip and how to flip. Fast is red, I'm a beast like I.S.U.P.K. It's my flow shop, I cut it like Benjamin Parker, bitch. My flow wrestle, that streets I wrestle. Hey, stop the bullshit, like I promised to catch him. We can war if he won, the way it start this shit up. They say my love gon' bring that fire, I'm gonna fuck this shit up. They got me playing on the darkness to touch. Over your car, that'll break your legs. Singing at the heart, get up. Spill blood, since these presidents took my pistol, I'm gonna turn all against you. Fuck all that peace out of weight. You ain't with us cause you wait. War must for the soul. Real niggas out of weight. We like this street. Chop this shit like shit. Can't be scared to compete. Don't out with me, I'm too deep. Listen, I ain't come to play. I'm gonna be mad. I'm playing kick and score. It's never one for the phone. That's how we do it.
All right, Most High Christ, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Barakatham, Yahweh Shamar, the son Ba'Shem Yahshua, Priest and Officer 1000 Yadai. I'm filling in for Priest and Officer 1000 Don Yala. First off, man, big shout out to Captain Akkad of Orion, man. I'm telling you, man, shout out to Captain Ty Ward. See, Captain Ty Ward make music for them brothers like to get in the zone, you know what I mean, share what they rib, you know what I mean? But then when Captain Akkad come on, I'm trying to tell you, the black ski mask and the Air Force Ones come on, the black ones. I'm trying to tell you, that's the energy they can't give off. But listen, tonight is the Wednesday night biblical law class. And why are our law, statutes, and commandments important? I'm going to tell you why, Israel. The Lord gave us rules, regulations, meaning he gave us law, statutes, and commandments, meaning we cannot be out here doing what the heathen do. What I noticed is, especially, Nicole, I know you saw that situation with the sister, I think her name is Chloe Bailey, how she was on Instagram crying her eyes out because of the negative backlash she got, because now she sees that the attention that whores like Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B are getting, and she decides, you know what I mean, to start the silhouette challenge, dancing naked. And you know, brothers and sisters ain't like that because they know that's not her image, and they know that the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, is trying to turn her into a whore. And she's trying to defend herself, saying, well, you know, I always felt I was fat. I've always had problems getting attention. The problem is, man, America and the oppressor don't want us to correct our sisters. They don't want us to correct our sisters and check the whoredom that they do. First of all, sister, you wrong for going out there bearing your nakedness for the world to see. I know Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and all these whores are getting all the attention. And it goes on us too, brothers. Once we stop liking whores, our sisters won't be whores anymore. And listen, and to the brothers and sisters that, you know what I mean, criticize her, get them a hand. First of all, Israel is starting to come around and see that the over-sexualization of our women, man, is getting out of hand. You know how I knew the over-sexualization was getting out of hand? When Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion made WAP, and then 2 weeks later, Cardi B she was talking, she had that line that said, I don't cook, I don't clean. But, you know, Offset made a video, a live on Instagram of her cleaning. And then later on in the week, her daughter walked in the room while WAP was playing, and she cut the song off because she knows deep down inside the shame that song brings and what it does to our sisters. I'm going to tell every Black, Hispanic, and First Nation sister tonight, you are not supposed to be a whore. Being a whore is not in your nature, sister. Being a whore is in the white woman's nature. It is in the Asian and the Arabic woman's nature. It's not in black women or Hispanic or First Nation women to be whores, man. We're gonna go into that. Go ahead, Nicole.
It's a lot of I just say something today. Priest brought out, man, I.S.U.P.K. The truth about lashes.
Oh man, please bring that out. Go ahead.
Oh God, no sweat. So back in the 1800s, lashes was made for prostitutes.
Good night.
The white prostitutes that was in those brothel houses.
Good night.
Brothels, it was made for them to keep the semen out of their eyes. So the eyelashes would catch the semen. That's why.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me? So you mean to? If I could, you mean to tell me one of the white whores said, you know what? Let's make long eyelashes so this semen don't get in my face. So one of them white whores decided to create that. And who is prominent in putting them fake lashes on today? Go ahead, Nicole.
So, right, sir. As you know it today, Israelite women are the predominant producers, entrepreneurs of lashes.
Good night. So you took, come on, sisters. And our sisters are the greatest women on the earth. Out of all the things, first of all, everything our sisters touch turned to gold. Turned to gold. And you mean to tell me you had to take something that a white whore created and made that popular for yourself? You got to let them whores, you got to let the oppressor in them have their own things. That's why the scriptures say, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of their ways. Well, black woman, Hispanic woman, being a whore is the way of the white woman. It's not in our nature. Same thing with homosexuality. That's something that the Africans came up with. That's something that they started, then the oppressor started to make famous. We have to understand that the Lord shows the people. Now is the time to separate. I know that Sister Chloe is upset. She's like, well, she feels as though she's not getting the right amount of attention. But she has to understand that being a whore is going to get you the wrong type of attention. And you crying and upset because you just want to be great. You just want to live your life. You should be thankful that brothers and sisters cared about you enough to tell you to put your goddamn clothes on, which is something that the Israelite School of U.P.K. has been saying to our sisters since 1969. I wonder where those brothers and sisters got that from. Go ahead, Nicole. Give me Leviticus 20 and 26.
I'm not too.
And Deuteronomy 23 and 17. Go ahead, Nicole.
I got two things. So I'm not too familiar with her fan base, but from the looks of it, she probably wasn't out there the way how, she probably was more classy. But I remember General Holiday worked this out a couple times before when he did security, and those sisters wanted that attention. You know what I mean? Wanting that fame, and you're seeing all these whores getting that attention. That attention that they get is not the attention that you want.
Right.
You want the attention of, I respect myself. I'm a classy woman. You know what I mean? They love my music. Right. My fans are real individuals.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my second thing I wanted to say is somebody named Yosef Israel. They asked, is God a man?
Okay. Give me Exodus 12. You got it?
Exodus 15 and 3?
Yeah, give me Exodus 15 and 3. I think I know what the underlying question is behind that, but go ahead, read that for me.
Sir, 1 second.
Yeah, give me Exodus 15 and verse 3. I think I know the intent behind his question or why he's asking that. But go ahead, read that.
All right. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a what?
A man of war.
The Lord is a man of war, man. The Most High is a man of war. First of all, I know what you're probably thinking. If you are thinking, and just type in, I can see it too. I'm gonna tell you right now, Christ and the Most High is not the same. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I think that's why he's asking. I think that's why most crazy nuts and most Christians ask. They ask, that was a question that, we got asked a couple weeks ago. Listen, the Most High and Christ are different. And then the next underlying thing with that would be, who was Christ praying to? You know what I mean? In Matthew the 28th chapter, then he was praying to the Father. But when it comes to the Most High is a man of war. The Most High is a black man in spirit. How do you know that the Most High is a man? We just read it right here in Exodus 15:3. And how do you know that the Most High is a black man in spirit? Give me Daniel, what's it, Daniel 7:9? Yeah, give me Daniel 7:9, Bubba Kashar, real quick. It says, the Lord is a man of war. Also, for the silly Christians out there that think God loves everybody, and for you Christian Israelites out there, the Most High does not love everybody, and I'm going to go into that tonight. The Lord only cares about blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, the Israelites of antiquity, man. He don't give a damn about everybody else. And guess what? He is a black man in the spirit, and we're going to prove it right now. Go ahead, I read what you got.
This is the book of Daniel, 7 verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
I beheld until the thrones were cast down, meaning these other kingdoms, these other nations are going to fall, man. Are going to fall. Read on.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Who is the Ancient of Days, man? Who is more ancient than days itself? The Most High, Yahweh. Read on.
Whose garment was white as snow.
Who had a garment which was white as snow. Meaning, the Most High got on a white garment right now. Read on.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
And the hair of his head was like what?
Pure wool.
Who got woolly hair? Who got woolly hair? You know who got woolly hair, brothers and sisters. Black people got woolly hair. Hispanic men got woolly hair, man. The Most High is a black man in spirit. Any more?
Okay. His throne was like the fiery flame.
His throne was like a fiery flame up there in the fourth dimension. You can't even begin to comprehend the fourth dimension of the Most High's throne, man. It says that he has hair like wool, white as snow. Come on, man. Who got woolly hair? We got woolly hair. And his throne was like a what? Read it again.
Okay. His throne was like the fiery flame.
And his throne was like a fiery flame. Any more?
A little bit more, sir.
Read on.
And his wheels as burning fire.
And his wheels as burning fire. Daniel saw the vision because he knew. Daniel knew that the Most High, you know what I mean, dwelt in the fourth dimension. And when it says that the thrones were cast down, like how Babylon was going, like how Babylon fell, like how Egypt is a desolate dust bowl now, America is going to fall too, and it's going to be because of the Most High. Because the Most High is going to send a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah and 200 million angels down to lay waste to the earth for what they do to blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, man. The Lord is going to cast down them thrones. He's sitting in the fourth dimension right now. But go to Leviticus 20 and 26. I hope that answered your question. Okay. This is the time right now for us to separate. Sisters, you got to separate from the whoredom that they pushing out to our people. Brother, you got to separate, you know what I mean, from that homosexuality, from being a murderer, from being a wicked heathen. We got to stop living like the oppressor. And what do I mean living like the oppressor? Not just living like the oppressor, living like these heathens in general. You know, during the day, also, shameless plug, big shout out to General Mayat Ka'ala, 12 Shield General Mayat, every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Got the podcast, Ask Ye the Prophets. Make sure you type your questions in the Ask Ye the Prophets at Gmail. Man, I was chilling with Ibah before the general came in, and I saw this video pop up, and I had to ask Ibah for reassurance. I said, is this a video about an African village about how they worship animals? Like, it was a picture of a Hamite, a so-called Nigerian, Igbo that y'all love to claim that's Israelites, had a whole snake around his neck and a king cobra in his mouth, and one other Hamite was riding a hyena. Y'all got to understand, man, we are not those people. We are not Africans. We got to separate from all the unks. We got to separate from all the little silly Hamitic and African cultures and separate from the oppressor, because guess what? Those things are detrimental to us. You want to know why we're in the condition that we're in right now? It's because we're not following the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, man. This is the time right now for every black, Hispanic, and First Nation man and woman to separate. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible. Read what you got, Icon.
Oh, God. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse 26. Mm-hmm. And ye shall be holy unto me.
Understand, the word holy means to be separate. Ye shall be holy unto me. The Most High is saying, ye shall be separate unto me. Read on.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am separate. The Lord is saying, I'm holy. Now, the Lord is separate, and we're supposed to be separate unto him. Where is the Africans that's riding on the hyenas that got their face up the ass of a rhinoceros and cow rolling around in his feces, drinking the piss, smelling like rhinoceros residue and giraffe water. How do the Africans figure in with our people? They don't. How does the oppressor, who was a cave dweller, feel it? How does the Chinese and the Japanese, because you know they're slow, how do they figure in with the Most High? They don't figure in. You want to know why they don't figure in? Because the Lord said that you, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, is separate unto him, for he is separate. So that negates any type of unity, any type of acceptance that the Most High will have in these other nations. They are nothing to him. That's why he's saying that we are separate unto him. Understand that for 1 second, black man, Hispanic man and woman. The Lord chose us. He could have chose anybody, but he chose us, Jacob, Yasha'Allah in the Hebrew, to be separate unto him. And we owe it to the Most High to separate from these wicked heathens, man. Read on.
Oh God. And have severed you from other people.
And have severed you from other people, man. Severed you. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. Yahweh Ash. We're going to see you this Sunday. Get well, warrior. Listen, the Most High is saying he severed us. If I took your arm, right, and severed it from your body, I took your arm from your body. That's what the Lord did to us. Amidst all the Chinese and the Japanese and the Africans and the white people, the Lord said, no, Israel, you got to come with me. I'm severing you from them. You got to come over here with me. Forget about them. They are nothing. I'm severing you from other people, meaning I'm taking you away from them, man. The Lord did the same thing with our forefather Abraham. Abraham was in Babylon, and the Lord called Abraham, called him out of Babylon, man, and said, I'm going to make you a great nation. And Abraham was considered a friend of the Most High. And that's our forefather. We come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Lord ain't choose everybody. He didn't. He chose us. And we owe it to the Most High to do what the Lord said to do. Stop being a whore, sister. Stop taking your clothes off for the world to see. Stop aborting your baby. Stop putting your trust and faith into the oppressor. On a sidebar, Joe Biden don't give a damn about our people. Kamala Harris for sure don't give a damn about our people. And you put your stock and hope and faith in them and into your homosexual preacher and the oppressor when you need to put your trust in the Most High in Christ, man. Wow. That's what you need to do as blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, man. Read on.
Oh God, that ye should be mine.
That ye should be mine, meaning we belong to the Lord. We belong to the Most High. These other nations don't belong to him. They don't belong to them. As a matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy. Before you go to Deuteronomy 23 and 17, give me Deuteronomy 32. And I want you to start at verse 8, Bubba Kushar. So I get Deuteronomy 32. Give me Deuteronomy 32, right? And start at verse 8, Bubba Kushar. Because the Lord divided us. Shalom, brother, Lord Christ. How you doing? Read what you got, Ivah. Deuteronomy 32 and 8.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, 32, verse 8. Mm-hmm. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
Now, the Most High divided the nations on their inheritance. Meaning, the Most High split everybody up for a reason. And if I can go in, you see how America is low-key segregated and split up. The Arabs stick with their own. They come in our neighborhoods and they set up shop, but they got their own communities. You can forget about the Chinese, man. The Chinese man got a Chinatown in every major city in America where they can sit around and hire their own and love their own and eat all the cat, rat, and dog and pangolin that they want. You will not find a black or Hispanic working in Chinatown because guess what? They love their people. They do. They do. They love their own. The Lord divided everybody for a reason. They only push coming together, being kumbaya, having unity. Only the black and Hispanics. Next time you get a chance, ask the Chinese man, ask Lee, ask Chun Lee, ask Wang Chung across the street that's serving you that nasty cat and dog if he voted for Joe Biden. They don't vote. The so-called Jew who's not a Jew, who's the devil that the Bible speaks of, they have their own communities too. They got the Diamond District. They got our land right now. They the biggest thieves on the planet. Guess what? Ask them if they vote. They don't do it. Why do they force that on our people? Because they want us to be under the foot of the oppressor. The day we stop doing that and start separating, we'll be better off. Because the Lord said right here, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, read on.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
He separated the sons. Read that last line again.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
He separated the sons of Adam. And they always talk that silliness. I had a sister tell me, well, you know, you're dying. We all come from Adam. But the Lord did what, I
When he separated the sons of Adam.
The Lord separated the sons of Adam. Meaning the Lord separated these other nations, man. We ain't all supposed to be together. And you silly Negroes out there, big shout out to Captain, Parashi out there in the UK. And big ups to Priest and Officer 5000 Marad, tackling that Islam. All of you silly niggas out there that's still worshiping and slamming your face down to a rock, you are a damn fool. You are a fool. Worshiping and serving the gods of the Arabs, man. Don't you know that the Arabs made the slave ships and the Africans rounded us up and sold us to the oppressor? Don't you know that? You look foolish serving the Arab man God. You do. You look foolish serving the white man's God. You look stupid serving the Chinese man's God, serving Buddha. And all of you that wear them shitlocks, salaki for my language, all of you that wear those dreadlocks, you know what I mean? You're worshiping the East Indian transsexual goddess Shiva. That's what you're doing. And smoking weed is also that custom. The Lord divided everybody to their own portion. They can do whatever the hell they want because their gods are the figment of their imagination. There's only one true power, and his name is Yahweh, the God of Israel, the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And he divided the sons of Adam. Meaning we ain't supposed to be together. We not. I know you love the oppressor. I know you love the Chinese man. I know you love the Arab man. General Mayak Allah, shout out, big shout out to General Mayak. He said something heavy. He said, if you want to love white people, wait to the kingdom. Nakar, when I get in the kingdom, I'm gonna be playing frisbee with my Edomites. I'm gonna be playing frisbee. I'm gonna be throwing. You know how they used to throw the frisbee to that. What's that dog's name? That golden shepherd's name. What is his name? Airbud. I'm gonna be playing frisbee with devils. I'm gonna be throwing them up. They're gonna be jumping it up, catching it with their teeth. I'm gonna groom them if I want to. Oh man, I'm gonna have a ball. That's the time to love the oppressor, when they're under our foot, because they for sure as hell don't love you. Let's read it again, Abba.
Oh God. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
Separated the sons of Adam, meaning we ain't all supposed to be together. Read on.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Read on.
Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people.
For the Lord's portion is who?
Is his people.
The Lord's portion is his people. We are the Lord's people, man. We are the Lord's portion. We are his people. He ain't choose everybody. He ain't give these laws, statutes, and commandments to everybody. I saw this silly video earlier of this devil, this Edomite, singing and crying, well, I can't be saved because I'm an Edomite. You're right. No heathen is going to be saved, man. Y'all all going into captivity. And for a while, the oppressor is going to be here, but it's going to come a time where he ain't going to be here at all. He ain't got no promise of mercy, man. And Barakatah Yahweh Shah for that. We have to understand, man, that Israel, black man, Hispanic man, Most High Christ, Earth Nation, man and woman, we are the Lord's portion, meaning we belong to the Most High. Let the heathens have their own. Let them be wicked. Let them do evil. Let them storm the Capitol. Let them be whores. You know what we need to do? We need to uphold our own moral integrity. And you know what teaches us that? The Bible does. Our history and records are right here in this book that collects dust on your grandma's desk, on your favorite auntie's dresser. The Lord said, for Israel was the Lord's portion, man. Read on.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance, meaning this is for us. This is supposed to be for blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. But what do we see now? We see our sisters, our brothers trying to follow the mold of the oppressor, and we cannot do that. That poor sister, Chloe Bailey, you looking at all the attention that these whores are getting, and you crying and upset that your loyal fan base, who like you, who like her music, she makes wild music. And for a while, I thought she was a good role model for young girls because she wasn't shaking her ass for the world to see. I was wrong. Because now you want to do the same thing that these whores is doing? Don't you understand that you're not supposed to be a whore, sister? And I can show you that in the scriptures. Give me Deuteronomy 23 and 17.
Oh God. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
Read that again.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
There shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel. Meaning black woman, Hispanic woman, First Nation woman, you're not supposed to be a whore. You're not supposed to be doing the silhouette challenge. You're not supposed to be doing the busted challenge. You're not supposed to be exposing your body on OnlyFans and being whores. Go ahead, Nicole.
Obvious, sir. It got to the point where the females start getting mad because they're doing the silhouette challenge, and they like, oh, you dudes is wrong for alternating the videos to see what we got on, because girls was like butt naked.
They was.
Why is you getting, first off, no matter, one, you're doing something that's lustful, that is not ladylike. Two, why the hell do you got your clothes off in front of a damn camera so you can present it to the world? Then you get mad when somebody is being a perv to what you done set up there and put on the world.
Exactly. You showing the whole entire earth, and give him the car hand, because I saw a post he did the other day, and he was like, you know what, just call it the whole challenge. His sister was like, it's the busted challenge, silhouette challenge. He was like, oh, it's the new whole challenge? Because that's exactly what it is. That's what it is. Sisters, you're not supposed to be a whore. Them long eyelashes, a white whore made that up. So they don't get, you know what I mean, semen on their faces. But sisters, you put that in style. You can't do that. Let the white women be whores. Let the Asian and the Arab and the Filipino women, let them do that. We cannot do that. Sister, you can't do it. You are a princess of the power. Don't you understand there was a time when your feet didn't even touch the ground? That you were just so delicate and tender. You are the most beautiful women, you know what I mean, ever created. And you're not supposed to be bearing your body for the world to see. Your body is for your husband. And listen, big shout out to Priest and Officer of Bun. Listen, for every sister out there, and I know what y'all gonna say, and I don't give a damn. Every sister, every time you feel the need to go out there and bury your nakedness, if you feel the need to make an OnlyFans or to do a silhouette challenge, I want you to replace it with this right here. Learn how to make biscuits from scratch. Right. Every time you feel the need to bury your body and get attention and be a whore, go in the kitchen and make some biscuits from scratch. Don't get that self-made stuff you get at Giant, you know what I mean, or Save-A-Lot. Make it from scratch. How about starting with that? How about putting a dress on? How about wearing and showing, you know what I mean, your modest apparel? You ain't got to bury your nakedness for everybody to see, man. That's why the Lord said there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. Read on.
Nor a sodomite.
Nor what?
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite, nor a homosexual of the sons of Israel. Homosexuality is on the rampant right now. It is. Homosexuality is on the rampant right now. I've never seen, you cannot go on Netflix and watch a movie nowadays, and not see a character that's homosexual. And if you ever notice, brother, you know what I mean? You're watching a movie and the movie's good, and then they just throw a gay character at you out of the blue who serves no purpose in the plot of the story. That's because they're trying to feminize our men and our women, man. That's why they're promoting interracial marriage. I've never seen so many interracial marriage ads in stores or on TV or on the internet ads, and so many homosexual ads in my time. That's because they want us to be homosexual. And guess what? The Lord said homosexuality is an abomination, man. It's an abomination. I know y'all saw T.D. Snakes, T.D. Jakes, and Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin was sitting on T.D. Jakes' lap. And it just goes to show you, man, that the Christian church is the cesspool of homosexuality and whoredom. It is. And the Most High does not want you to be a homosexual, brother and sister. The Lord don't want you to be a whore or a whoremonger. That's something that the oppressor wants us to be. The Most High did not make us that way. The Lord made us to be separate unto him, to be holy. I know every time you think about something being holy, you think about your grandma with the feathered hat, your pastor with the white robe driving the Rolls Royce. That's not what holy means. We have to be separate because we separate unto the Lord. We dishonor the Most High every time we do these silly challenges, man. And I blame your pastor because your pastor is following the curriculum of the oppressor. Go ahead, brother.
So back to what you talking about homosexuality. What if a person to have to a person like early in his childhood, like or her childhood, where
like, let's say 8, 9, even younger than that years old, that you can't even explain why it happened. Like, even if you try to, like, you can't even figure this. It's like there's no explanation. You be going over that for year after day after day, year after year after year. But you know, when you're older, you choose to either keep moving forward or whatever. But what I'm saying is, like, even if you keep moving forward, like that's just not something you just do on your own, on your own volition. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, because it's deeper than just like not being a homosexual or being a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, this foods and all types of stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that they.
Now, if I could.
I don't really know.
Now, if I could, though, first of all, they're not putting nothing in the food. Ain't nothing in the food that's making you homosexual. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop with the conspiracy theory videos. Like, I see them too. I'm a little conspiracy theorist too. You hit the nail on the head earlier when you said it. It happens at a young age. How do homosexuals make other homosexuals? They molest children. That's what they do. Go ahead, Nicole.
Salami, sir, if I could, I would just have this discussion with Officer Barzal, my mother, and also my older sister. My older sister, you know, I was letting her know, I said, yo, you know, swear how you gotta handle boys. You can't, like, yeah, the mother should show love to that son, but it become an issue when he's just running up under you every second. It's like, no, go play. You know what I'm saying? Installing in them that manly spirit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now in days, a lot of our women believe, oh, you can cradle that son. And you can let them play with them Barbies. You know, they don't know no better.
Let me tell you something. Not to cut you off, but I wish my son would. I don't have children in Israel, but I got a lot of nieces and nephews. And with my nephews, I call one of my nephews, you know what I mean, playing with, you know what I mean, my sister's shoes. And I, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, I heard something the captain of the car say about his son. I took my boots off and said, man, put these on. Don't do that. Don't wear hers. They have to understand, man. You know what I mean? That boys are supposed to do what boys do and girls supposed to do what girls do. I'm not buying my son a doll. That's another thing that they promote. They want the babies to be homosexuals. And how do they become homosexual? They usually get molested. Usually that's what happens. They get molested. You know where they get molested at? They get molested at the Christian church, at the Muslim mosque, by that pastor, by that deacon, by that member on the choir, by your cousin, by your uncle, by your auntie. Big shout out to priest and captain of 13,000 Zaria, who has been tackling this issue, man. Who's did multiple lectures on it, because that's something that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to claim that, oh, we need to claim this level of African spirituality. We need to be Egyptians. We need to be like the Mesopotamians. We need to be like Nigeria, like Ghana. But nobody wants to talk about, you know what I mean, the issue of homosexuality and child molestation. These are issues that happen in our communities. And Chris Rock made a joke and said, you usually blame the child before you blame the actual molester. And that's the problem. That's the issue. And no one outside of the Israelite school of UPK is doing something about these issues, man. That's a problem that we face. Everybody talking about, well, I was born this way. No, you wasn't. God did not make you a homosexual.
Right.
That's not what happened. You learned that behavior because somebody molested you, or you following after the Africans and the oppressor. Go ahead, Nicole. Bob, give me Leviticus 20 and 13.
Like I was saying, you know, I had somebody was telling me, you know, there's nothing wrong. They can get all the love, and I said, listen, they get all the love, but you know, it's a time where you gotta say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go play. Stop being up in your mom all the time.
Right.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? You're a boy, man. Shrug that off. It's giving those. Every time you do the whole dissecting of a homosexual, like you said, majority of the time they molested.
Right.
A lot of times the parent didn't catch the homosexuality in them that was being groomed because they never was taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I know I got family members that because they was following what they think, now that little boy is soft.
Let me give an example. I'm glad you said that. My nephew the same way. And his excuse was, well, you know, God didn't just destroy Sodom and Gomorrah due to homosexuality, I'd be like, nigga, they was getting ready to rape 2 angels. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
Right.
That type of garbage. And you know what that comes from? The car hit the nail on the head. Boys need their fathers. Salakia. Boys and girls both need their father, man. You do. We need our fathers. We do. First of all, young brothers need their dad to see them as the model or type of man they supposed to become. And for the daughter, the type of man that they should aspire to go get. That's why the father is important. America teaches us, you know what I mean? The black man ain't this, black man ain't that. Just throw us away. You don't need us. That's what they say. And they tell that to the scriptures. The car, give me, I think it's in Matthew where you got to first bind the strong man. No man can enter into a strong man's house. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to remove us. And that's in the scriptures. They want you to be a homosexual. They want you to be an effeminate. You can't be that way, man. You can't be that. The scriptures say no effeminate, you know what I mean, is going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. No effeminate man, you can't do that. And this is what America promotes. Going up against, and after you give me Leviticus 20 and 13, give me Romans 1 and 25. Okay. Romans 1 and 25. But give me Leviticus 20 and 13 first. Oh, you got yours? Hold that. Okay. Give me Leviticus 20 and 13 first.
This book of Leviticus 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman.
I mean, if a man also lie with another man like he lied with a woman, or a woman lie with another woman like she lied with a man, read on.
Both of them have committed an abomination.
Both of them have committed an abomination. Homosexuality is a sin against the Most High. It's an abomination, man. Read on.
They shall surely be put to death.
And they shall surely be put to death, man. Now, don't go out there and kill homosexuals. I'm not telling you that. You can't go out there and do that. But guess what? The Lord is already dealing with them. What's something that came around? What's that disease called that came around because homosexuals decided to have sex? HIV? AIDS? Go ahead, Nicole.
It's a lot here, sir. AIDS. The homosexual community has so much support, and we're getting high cases here in America. That's itself that doctors started really pushing the pen to get homosexuals a cure that can damn near destroy the AIDS and the HIV before it becomes AIDS. And also they're very high in AIDS and herpes.
Good night.
Because
that stick with you for life. Go ahead.
Sir, if I could, if you're in the world, you know what they call men dirty D dudes, right? I want for class purposes, I don't want to say the exact words, but we in the world we known for being dirty. You know what I'm saying? We ain't strapping up. You know what I'm saying? Just filthy. Now 2 men is doing only what the Lord knows. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to have that visual. But they doing those homosexual acts. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody say, homosexual sexuality is clean. No. They are dudes still at the end of the day, and that's why they're running around with the same diseases.
The car.
You understand?
The car. What's the name of that devil that Joe Biden put in that's like the new health director? That devil. What's the name? If you could put that motherfucker on the board. So like, put that sodomite on the screen for a minute. Because this is how evil and wicked America is, man. I saw a post earlier that disgusted me that one of the sisters shared. And it says, people have periods. And there was a bunch of transgender white women, right? That transformed themselves into women. Taking the, what's the pills called? What's the pills called? The car. What was it, brother? Yeah, the pills. The estrogen is what women, testosterone pills. The water, brother, next time. Yeah, they take the testosterone pills, right? They start to grow beards and everything. And there was a bunch of dykes, bull dagger Edomites, Talking about people have periods, and they're still women, and they have men features. This is Babylon. This is hell. This is the land of our captivity, and that is what they promote to our people. Joe Biden put up a new director of health, and it's this devil, this homosexual man that's a drag queen that likes to wear dresses and everything. And this is the type of evil that they promote to our people. And the Lord just said that both of them have committed abomination. They shall surely be put to death, and their blood shall be upon them. We have to understand, Israel, we're not supposed to be homosexuals. And all of you that are into Egyptology, let me tell you this. Egypt was the first metropolis homosexual nation. Homosexuality was rampant in Egypt. Y'all love to sweep that under the rug. You love to talk about rah, 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 rah. But you don't want to bring up Geb. You don't want to bring up Geb. You don't want to bring up all the homosexuality that went on and transpired in Egypt, because the Africans are natural homosexuals, man. Just like the oppressor. This is something, you ain't got to put it up, Nicole. You ain't got to put it up, man. Oh, you got to put it up there. Put it up there and put it on the screen, because I want all Israel to see. Joe Biden put this devil up here, right? And this devil is supposed to be the new head of like health. And I remember watching the news with my mother. I was talking to my mother about something. And she looked at me and was like, baby, is that I said, yes, mama. That's a man. That's a man. Put the camera on there real quick. Salaki. That's a man, Israel. That is what they promote here in Babylon, here in America. And Joe Biden put that thing in charge of health. Every time you turned on the news and they was talking about COVID, you saw that atrocity right there. And it was another thing where they was at this convention and he was full out dressed in a dress and everything. And then fell. And then, never mind. I ain't even gonna go into that. Go ahead, Nicole. What you gonna say?
It's like, sir, the dude name is Dr. Rachel Levine, and he's over PA.
Good night.
He's the PA director of health.
Good night. Good night. That's your director of health.
And
go ahead.
So like, sir, no. Okay, so here go another disgusting okay, so here go another disgusting sodomite, all right, that's in politics. They're actually the mayor of New Hope, Texas.
Good night.
All right, the first transgender mayor. All right.
Good night.
He goes by the name of Jess Erdis. All right, I'm going to share it.
Put Jeff on the board.
Yeah, Jeff. Jess.
Jesse. Pour me a little bit more of my strong boat.
This Edomite name is Jesse Erdis, and this is the dude right here.
Oh my goodness. This is what they promote to our people. And here's the thing. These are the monsters that Joe Biden is for. They're the ones that your savior, your black messiah, Barack Obama, who is an African, who is not an Israelite, who is not our people, they're fighting for them and their rights. What about us? What about the Lord's chosen people? As the Lord's chosen people, we have to do what the Lord said to do, and we have to walk in his commandments. As a matter of fact, give me Romans 1:25 over Pashal. And the card, you got what I asked for? And Matthew, you can put the shield back on the board, Baba Pashal. Because here's the thing. They're promoting this to our people, and they tell our sisters, it's all right, you don't need a man. You can be the man. You the daddy. You can forget about Father's Day, which is an evil, wicked holiday when that comes up. Guess what? They come out there and they promote and exalt themselves like, yeah, I'm the mommy and the daddy. Telling us that they don't need black men. Well, guess what? Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, we are needed in our households, man. Right. Because the Most High said that this is the natural order of things, man. The Most High is the head of our King Yahawashi. Yahawashi is the head of black man, Hispanic, and First Nation men. And we are the head of the women, man. They try to tell us that we ain't needed. That's why our babies are coming up and growing up soft and homosexuals now, because black men are not in the house. But we coming back into the house now. And sister, if you out there, you know what I mean, and you ain't got a brother, and you trying to get up in this truth, you better come in here and get a UPK, man. You better come up here and get I.S.U.P.K. Better come in here and get in the car. Right. Forget about it. Read what you got in the car. Good night. Go ahead. Go ahead, I.S.U.P.K. Give me Romans 1:25 over for sure. Good night. Michael Porter says Secretary Pete Buttigieg and AKA Pete Buttigieg. Good night. That's what they are. That's what they are. And they promote that to our people. And they make homosexuality, you know what I mean, an alternative. They tell us that. They tell us that homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle. They tell our brothers and sisters that, man. But who told you that? Who told you that it was all right? Read what you got, I.S.U.P.K. Give me Romans 1:25.
This is the book of Romans, 1 verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
Who changed the truth of God into a lie? I'll tell you who did it. The oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He changed the truth of God into a lie. Read on.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
You worshiping the creature more than the creator. You worshiping the white man more than you worshiping the Most High. And guess what? You cannot serve two masters, man. Christ said that. You cannot serve the oppressor and serve the Most High. You got to pick one. But right now, since you're choosing the way of the oppressor, being a whore, being a whoremonger, being a homosexual, guess what? Being an evil sexual deviant, being a monster, you are serving the creature more than the creator. Read on.
Who is blessed forever. Amen.
Read on.
Verse 27. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman.
Like what? Read that again.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman.
Oh, man. You have verse 26?
Oh, Slaki. Oh, verse 27. Verse 26.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, Israel. Read 26 first.
Verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affection.
For this cause God gave up to vile affection, meaning they gave them up to vile, meaning disgusting, revolting affections, man. Read on.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
And even their women changed the natural use against nature. What is the women doing that's going up against nature? That's called lesbianism. That's being a homosexual, man. Two women getting together, which is an abomination to the Most High, as we read in Leviticus 20 and 13. Meaning Paul is saying right here, being a homosexual is still against the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. And I'm going to go into that shortly. Read on.
Verse 27. And likewise also the men.
Also the men too, being homosexuals, man. That's what they promoting to our brothers, man, our sisters. You cannot be a homosexual, man. The Lord requires us obedience. The Lord does not want us to be effeminate. The Lord does not want us to be evil monsters, to be homosexuals, man. Read on.
Leaving the natural use of the woman.
Leaving the natural use of the woman, man. Leaving the sister. Read on.
Burn in their lust, one toward another.
One toward another. Paul is speaking against homosexuality. And this is in the so-called New Testament for you homosexual Israelites and for you Christians out there. Guess what? The Most High is still against homosexuality. Y'all talk that nonsense. Well, we saved by grace, you died. Christ died so I can do whatever I want. But Paul is saying he gave them up into vile affections. Men burn what they lust one toward another. Paul is like, what the hell are y'all niggas doing? Don't you know that homosexuality is an abomination to the Most High?
Right.
Don't you know that? Read on.
Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
Working that which is unseemly, meaning having homosexual sex. You're not supposed to do that. Two men is not supposed to be together. Two women is not supposed to be that, man. The Lord did not intend that to be our for our people, man. Read on.
And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And
receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. The error meaning abomination. Go ahead, brother.
Now, depending on what you said about we're saved by faith, not just talking about homosexuality, but ramifications of the whole Bible as a fact, but referring to we read this Bible, and this is where we believe that God wrote through man, or if I'm right, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, you know, based on this Bible, when Abraham time, Abraham didn't have a Bible. It was just God in his mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I not necessarily struggle with, but was more like, and I'm speaking on a higher level. So, you know, as far as like if he was in a big setting, it wouldn't need to be probably said. But what I'm saying is like just understanding that like Abraham didn't have this Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's enough said, right?
Now here's the thing too. Abraham didn't necessarily have the Bible, but Abraham was considered a friend of the Most High. About to put the cat in the basement. Abraham was considered a friend of the Most High, and guess what? Abraham already knew the law. He knew right from wrong. He knew what to do and what not to do. And you want to know how he knew? How he knew that? Because Adam knew as well. Adam transgressed the Most High, you know what I mean, by following after the heathen nations. Him and Eve following after the heathens, man, and then trying to hide amongst them. That's what got us kicked out of paradise. They already knew that. The reason why it had to be written down so our future generations could know and understand, that's why I'm paraphrasing in Jeremiah, where Jeremiah told Baruch, write this in a book. Write it in a book. Because we've also, quote, to paraphrase Jeremiah 17 and verse 4, because we disobeyed what the Lord said to do, we've been discontinued from our culture. You didn't have to tell Abraham not to sleep with a woman that was not of his kin, not of his nation. You didn't have to tell Abraham not to be a homosexual or Isaac or Jacob. They already knew that. But the thing is, our people now don't know this. That's why Paul had to write down what he had to write down. That's why John and Matthew had to write their books down. That's why Malachi, Zechariah, Jeremiah, Isaiah, why their books had to be written. It had to be written so our people could know what to do and what not to do. Wow. Read on. Go ahead, Nicole.
That's why, like when you look into the book of Genesis, you know, they knew the laws too.
They did.
You know what I mean? They knew the laws, but what the Lord gave them, you understand? They knew those laws and they kept them. You know what I mean? They taught them. That's why their children was sacrificing them to the Lord. You know? That's why Abraham knew, you know what I mean, what to do and not to do. That's how he was able to be loyal to the Lord.
Right. And you got to understand, man, the scriptures say that Israel is a stiff-necked people. How do you know that Israel is a stiff-necked people? This is what really hit me. I remember, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in Captain Shapar Napash's class. Big shout out to Captain Shapar Napash, Captain 13,000. And he said, you know, broke down how stiff-necked we are. The Lord split the Red Sea. We saw the sea split before our eyes and saw a fire tornado come down and hold Pharaoh off and wipe them out, and then the ocean came and crushed them when they tried to pursue after us. And then we were guided by the chariots. And then we decided to go and build a golden calf because Moses was taking too long up in the mountains talking to the Most High. If that don't sound like black people, what do brothers say? You got to show me. And even if you show them, sometimes they still deny it. Sometimes they still be in disbelief. That blew my mind because it's like, yo, we really are those people. Go ahead, brother. Listen, you right. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. And here's the thing with that. We have to be patient. And with being patient, we also have to do what the Lord said to do. And that's to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, because this is the biblical law class. Go ahead, Ibad.
But good, sir. Israel is also stiff-necked when they go against us at camp.
You see it every. Give everybody by the hand. How many times, Nakar, you know this? How many times do brothers come up against us? Nakar, I'll never forget this. Nakar stood up. I think it was the second or fourth time we was at camp. It was the week before Thanksgiving. Nakar said, we're not supposed to be celebrating Thanksgiving. You're not supposed to be eating that turkey and that nasty cranberry sauce. And our brother stood up and said, nigga, what you mean I can't eat that cranberry sauce? What you mean I can't eat that turkey, man? What you mean? You ain't never celebrate Thanksgiving? Why I can't celebrate Thanksgiving? And I'm like, Lord, we really are those people. We are. You are so infatuated in love with the oppressor and his ways. And what you don't realize, that very spirit that you have, That's how Adam and Eve got kicked out the garden. That's how we got discontinued from our heritage, man. Because you don't want to do what the Lord said to do. You want to do what your white daddy tells you to do, man. You want to do what the white man tells you. And which is sad and shows you how rebellious our people are. Is that they don't understand, man, that we out here for you.
Right.
The scriptures say that the prophets have prophesied against many nations, many kingdoms, small and great. But what we have to do understand Israel is that this is the time for us to get ourselves together.
Right.
You want to know why? Because if we don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, we are going to die. I pray you understand. As a matter of fact, give me Romans 6 and 23.
Okay.
Give me Romans 6 and verse 23.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
For the wages of sin is death.
The wages of sin is death. What is a wage? What's a wage? Anybody? Anybody online? What is a wage? Go ahead, brother.
Regarding the scripture, I would say it would be like act, like a wage is specifically like paying somebody. So you choose to do that, but as far as the wages of sin would be death, it would be like, here I'm gonna do this. So you just pay your due doing that, and that you go get the consequence.
Mm-hmm. I'll accept that. Anybody else? What I bought?
A wage is something you get for the work that you do.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. You both right. You both on it. You know what I mean? The wage is the penalty. This is the penalty. You know what I mean? I could go ahead, Nicole.
All right, so you can also be the judgment, right?
Judgment too. When you think wage, like the brother said, like you think of the cost and amount. Think penalty. You know, think like you violated the Lord. You know what I mean? The wage is the penalty, meaning the wages of sin is death. Meaning for the sin that you do, for the evil that you want to do, the homosexuality, being a whore, doing the silhouette, the busted challenge, man, the wage of that sin is death.
Right.
Read on.
Come God. But the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord.
But the gift of God is eternal life through Yahushua Mashiach. Don't you want to have eternal life? And how do you come to life? You come to life, man, by doing what the Lord said to do, by keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Now I'm going to ask, what is sin? What is sin? I should know that. What about?
Transgression of the law.
Give me that. Give me 1 John 3 and 4.
Okay.
Give me 1 John 3 and verse 4. Let's get it in the scripture.
Okay. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever committeth sin.
Whosoever committeth sin, meaning black man, Hispanic man, and woman, if you will commit sin, guess what? Read on.
God. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
You transgress the law. Meaning if you want to be a whore, you want to be a murderer, you want to be a drug dealer, you are transgressing the law. Meaning you are in violation of the Most High's rules, man. Laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on. There more on that?
God. For sin is the transgression of the law.
For sin is the transgression of the law. But according to Creflo, take your dollar. You don't gotta keep God's laws. Creflo Dollar said out of his own mouth that Satan wants you to keep the law, but Christ died so you don't have to. Give me Matthew 5 and 17. What was you gonna say, brother? You gonna say something?
The fact that you brought up Creflo Dollar, you know what I'm saying? I was in a laundromat not too long ago, and I was, speaking currently, and I was seeing Tyler Perry and a couple of other known celebrity figures speaking about the COVID vaccines and telling you why you should take them. Where we know, come on, man, you know what I'm saying? And with them, you would expect them to know better, knowing what they did to people that they are dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Not know better knowing the people that are dealing with, but know better and knowing the people that they are dealing with, that they would have at least enough influence or mental power to say, no, I'm not going to do that to my people, because I know that's who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of really irked me to see him on TV doing it when I already really felt some type of way about him. I don't see I.S.U.P.K on TV talking like that.
The car, give me 30. Give me Ecclesiasticus 38 and 1. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question, brother. Are you against vaccinations?
Yes.
Why?
Simply because I know if you eat the fresh fruit, vegetables, especially if you're able to grow them yourself, it's people that live in this world that just don't know sickness. You know what I'm saying? We might not be around those people in the round, but I know enough to understand, to know that. You know what I'm saying? I've been being an athlete, you know what I'm saying, and eating certain type of foods. You take care of yourself, bro, and you know, certain things that God made, put on this earth, that's come from a seed, you put it in your body, it pretty much can heal any disease.
Okay. Now, the Israelite School of UPK's official stance on vaccinations is we're not against vaccinations. If you feel the need that you need to go get vaccinated, and I will explain. First of all, if you understand the history of vaccinations, the oppressor, the white man, did not create the vaccines.
Right.
Black men did. Are you aware that a black man cured smallpox by taking a brother who had smallpox, taking a swab of him, right, like an infected wound of his smallpox, and injected it in himself? And that developed, you know what I mean, with the vaccines that you see now for smallpox, and why you don't see it no more, and why it was eradicated, because a black man created that. I won't deny that, you know what I mean, the cure for every disease, for most diseases, are right here on the earth. But what our people have to understand is that fear of death, and it's a fear of death and it's an infatuation with death at the same time. And 12 Children of Muhammad broke this down so eloquently. Our people have a desire to die subconsciously, where you think, oh man, I'm not going to take that vaccine because I'm going to die. Well, guess what? If you take the COVID, you're going to, if you go out there and keep, transgressing the laws, like the commandments, you may just die of COVID. You may just die of the flu. You may get in your car and die of a car crash. Another thing too, when it comes to vaccines, and what you have to understand, and this is for everybody out here, not just you, brother, not speaking directly to you. There's a lot of people that are against it. The scripture said that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Most people say, well, the oppressor is going to create a vaccine, a dose of medicine. He's going to inject it in you and kill you. Do you know how much time and money and effort it will cost the oppressor to do that? Isn't it easier for him to just put his knee on your neck? If you're George Floyd or Ramon Lopez, a black and Mexican man, Judah and Isupk, ain't it easier to just put his knee on your neck? Ain't it easier to body slam a young sister, a teenage girl in Florida? Ain't it easier to just pepper spray and shoot rubber bullets at a 9-year-old girl in Rochester? Isn't it easier to shoot a brother by the name of Jacob Blake 7 times because he had an argument with his wife? Isn't it easier to just march into your home and murder your wife while she sleeps? It's easy to do that. It would cost the oppressor time and money and effort to create a potion that would kill you that way. He's not trying to get you to die slow. The oppressor wants us to die now, and he's very successful at it. And if you notice, the oppressor does not want us to get the vaccinations, because guess what? If you do the numbers right into statistics, nobody's dying from the vaccine. People are dying from the COVID. Meaning, and our people have to stop fearing the oppressor and put their faith and fear in the Most High. The scriptures say that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Why the hell would I fear the white man and what he can do when the Most High is the one who I really should fear, because he's the one that created the coronavirus? Right. And to show you that the vaccine ain't the problem, all white people are getting vaccinated. You got rich devils that are jumping to the front of the line. And guess what? The statistics all across America and the earth of Black and Hispanic and First Nation men and women getting vaccinated is extremely low, because they're not giving us the vaccines because they want us to die. They want us to die. That's why they're not giving us the vaccines. And on top of them not giving us the vaccination, guess what they're also doing? They're still shooting us. They're still putting their knees on our neck. They're still promoting abortion. Everybody's against a needle and being afraid of needles, but you're not afraid of that needle that's getting stuck up your wife's behind and murdering our babies. You speaking up against vaccines, making videos all day talking about Commander General Yohanna, about how he's wrong about, being in support of vaccinations, but none of you silly Negroes are going out there chastising our women for murdering our babies. and we lose over 1 million babies every year due to abortions. And nobody's speaking up against that besides the Israelite school of U.P.K. We're not afraid of needles up in here. We won West. We're not afraid of needles. We're afraid of the Most High. Go ahead, Nicole.
If I could, you know what I mean, get on the science part of it on it. You know, I've been studying science for years. And when I was in school, we had a biology class. And in my high school, we dealt really solely on science and technology, right? Because that was the type of school I went to, math, science, and technology. I used to go to labs in a community college, Philadelphia, and conduct experiments, working with dangerous chemicals and dissecting certain animal life. When we was learning about vaccines, we got down to the nitty-gritty and understanding the science behind it. So with the whole thing with the vaccine is you're taking a beaten down version of it, your blood cells are like the military, right? Your white blood cells is like those super, you know what I mean? They like the top soldiers. Your red blood cells.
Say what you was gonna say. They super troopers. They are badaya. They can wipe you out in an hour.
You know what I mean? They super troopers, right? So when your blood cells, like you said, brother, you know what I mean? If I could, you say that if you eating the right things and so on and forth, you taking your body blood. Well, I.S.U.K stance is if you not a person that gets sick and you have a high immune system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't. If you feel like you don't need it, you don't have to take it. There's a lot of us.
Right.
Myself, I don't need to take it. I'm not smoking. I'm not putting none of those bad foods into my system. So I'm so wild. But there's some people immune system and bloodstream that is not strong.
Right.
To strengthen your blood and get them aware of the vaccine goes into your body. They learn how to manipulate the virus to where they was able to keep it stable enough to run a test. They say, well, it was done in under a year. Well, they was already researching and learning how to vaccinate other viruses that was still similar of the coronavirus. A virus, you understand, is different tribes. It's a tribe, like the nation of Israel is Israelites, right?
That's why you see different strands. When the car is breaking down, it's so heavy. That's why you see different strands of the COVID right now. Right. Brazil, you know what I mean? That strand is in Delaware too. It's a new strand of the COVID that the vaccine that's right now can't do nothing about. And to give you the gist of it, though, to be honest with you, and to give the car a hand, breaking that down. To be honest with you, this is the real official U.P.K stance on vaccines. Get it if you want it, if you need it. We don't care. If you don't want, you know what I mean? If you don't want to get it, you don't have to get it. But if you talk to your doctor and he feels the need that you need it, go get it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with a flu shot. Get it if you need it. Speak with your doctor. But we're not going to sit up here and be afraid of it because the myth about how, oh, you need to be afraid of it because the oppressor did this and the oppressor did that. They also like to bring up the Tuskegee experiments. And a lot of the history behind that has been misconstrued. The brothers that went up to, you know, they got experimented on, they already had syphilis. They didn't come in healthy. Them brothers already had syphilis, and the liar, which makes the oppressor the devil that the Bible speaks of, he promised them free health care. And guess what? He would give them shots of nothing when they had the cure for syphilis the entire time. They could have gave them brothers penicillin, but they didn't give every brother penicillin. They gave most of them brothers a shot of water, something like that. When they could have gave them the penicillin shot, which could have saved their lives. And it goes to show you just how evil the oppressor is with withholding the vaccination for the syphilis to our brothers, and they didn't give it to us, man. And they didn't give it to us. Here's the thing, brother. And here's the thing to all of our brothers and sisters out there. You don't have to be afraid of needles. The scriptures say, fear the one that can kill the body and the soul in heaven and in earth and in hell. Who can do that? The Most High can destroy you in heaven and in hell. Right. He can do that. The Most High can. The oppressor can't do that to you. No matter what the oppressor can do to you, he cannot deter you from serving the Most High and doing what the Lord said to do and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And to show you that, look at all the prophets that were persecuted, man. Jeremiah, Zechariah, Isaiah. Look what happened to our King Yahushua, who was crucified. An innocent black man who did nothing wrong. Our King Yahushua Mashiach, you know him as Jesus Christ, died so wicked niggas like us could be here today. So we could be here today. And look what happened also, to add to that. Look at Stephen, a man full of the Holy Spirit, who was tried in a similar kangaroo court, just like Yahushua was, our king. But he stood strong on this truth, and the Lord revealed to him the glory of him, man. He saw the chariots and the angels and Christ on the right-hand side. And that's what we strive for and we do. We're not afraid of the oppressor up in here. We not. We are afraid of the Most High. And that's the thing with our people. Because the scriptures say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, man. It's the beginning of knowledge. Learn how to fear the Lord. Because guess what? When the coronavirus came around, guess what? We heard everything. Everything. And you know what that everything was? They used to say, it's a lot. And the car gonna laugh. Well, you know, brother, we can't get the COVID because we got melanin. We got dark skin, nigga. We can't get the COVID, man. We good. 2 weeks later, well, you know, we get the coronavirus because they put the 5G towers up in the sky and the radiation's coming down and giving us the COVID. Really, nigga? Really? A week ago, you just said that we can't get it because, you know what I mean, brother? A week ago, them same niggas told me and you that we can't get it because we got dark skin. But now we getting it because of radiation and 5G towers, blaming it on Verizon. Blaming it on AT&T, man. Good night. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in silly conspiracy theories. As a matter of fact, Bob, give me 1 Corinthians 3:19, and then I'm gonna get off of that real quick. Because here's the thing: those little conspiracy theorists and everybody that's so upset and worried about that. And this is what kills me. In the car, I might buy go laugh. Them same niggas that saying they ain't getting the vaccine, they smoking weed right now. They sleeping with white whores. They homosexuals. Come on now. You sleeping with whores, eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and smoking weed, but you afraid of needles? It just goes to show you that your Christian Israelite is not qualified to lead us, man. Wow. He's not. That's why they get on boats and planes to go to Egypt, because of the H1N1, the swine flu. That's why when the coronavirus came around, they made a decree. Everybody to get the vaccine is going to die. Ain't nobody died yet. But you wanted to call Commander GEN.YAHANNA out. Well, all of you simple fake Israelite leaders and Christians, you owe 13 Shield Commander GEN.YAHANNA, the leader of this nation, the man under Christ, Yahushua, an apology. You owe him an apology. All of you do. Because ain't nobody dying. On the contrary, Commander GEN.YAHANNA was right. They're withholding the vaccination to us because they want us to continue to die. Like having a knee on our necks wasn't enough. You running up in my wife's house and murdering her while she slept wasn't enough. Now you got to withhold the vaccination. Come on now. Give me 1 Corinthians 3:19.
Oh God. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Them same niggas that's scared of needles, they the same ones that's smoking weed right now. Yes, them same brothers that got the fezzes on. There's brothers right now that got fezzes on that's saying Salamu Alaikum. Salamu Alaikum. Islam more. Peace, brother. Peace, God. Them niggas too. They the same ones that smoking weed, sleeping with prostitutes, sleeping with white women, and smoking weed in that Reggie, but they afraid of needles. They are not qualified to lead our people. Leave that to the true priests and prophets of the Most High Yahweh, the priests, the generals, captains, and officers and troopers in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Because I'm not going to forget, y'all said that people were going to die if they took the vaccination. It did not happen. You said that the 5G towers and the radiation was going to come down and kill people, and ain't nobody died yet. The same people that made jokes and talking about, oh man, the radiation is going to get you, they're the same niggas that stand in front of the microwave and watch their food cook. And the 5G towers is giving up about the same amount of radiation as your microwave. Give me a break. Read it again from the top.
Oh God. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. It's nonsense, man. Is there any more on that? Read.
For it is written, he taketh the wise in his own craftiness.
He taketh the wise in his own craftiness, man. Gotta understand. Them silly Negroes, they don't know anything. They're not qualified to lead our people. Stop being scary. What we have to do is fear the Most High. And the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. And you have, in order to fear the Most High, you have to understand that the Most High is the one that can destroy you through and out in this life and the next. This is why it's important, man, to utilize your opportunity right now and do what the Lord said to do. And which make Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes and all them other Christians and your fake Christian Israelite leaders so wicked that they tell you that smoking weed is okay. They tell you that, sister, it's all right to be a whore. They tell you that it's all right, you know what I mean, to be a homosexual. And it's not. Creflo Dollar said out of his own mouth that, oh, Christ doesn't want you to keep the law, but Satan does. Let's see what Christ said. Give me Matthew 5:17, Uncle Sean.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I have come to destroy the law.
Christ said, think not that I come to destroy the law. Meaning, don't even think it. Get that out your mind right now. I have not come to destroy the law. Read on.
Or the prophets.
Or the prophets. Who are the prophets? The priests and prophets are here in the I.S.U.P.K. I pray you understand. Read on.
I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Meaning, Christ ain't come to destroy the law. Meaning, you can't be a homosexual. You can't be a whore, Chloe Bailey. You can't be a homosexual, T.D. Jakes and Kirk Franklin. Guess what? Christ came not to destroy, but to fulfill, but to show it's how it's done. Read on.
Verse 18. For verily I say unto you.
For verily I say unto you. Meaning, for surely I say unto you. Read on.
Till heaven and earth pass.
Till heaven and earth pass. Heaven and earth is still here, last time I checked. Heaven and earth is still here. Read on.
One jot or one tittle.
The dot of an I and the cross of a T. That's the jot and the tittle. Read on.
Shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Meaning all that's got to be fulfilled. And the law ain't going nowhere, man. The law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord is not going nowhere. Salakia, give me Baruch 4:1 up for sure. We're going to come right back to it. We're going to come right back to it. I ain't done with your homosexual pastor yet. That's making whores of our women. That's molesting our kids in these churches. That's promoting all type of wickedness to our people. Give me Baruch 4:1, Bubba, for sure.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the what?
Book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God. Read on.
And the law that endureth forever.
And the law that endureth forever, meaning the law is here to stay. The law ain't going nowhere. The law is going to endure forever. And guess what? Christ knew this. He knew that the law was going to endure forever. That's why the laws, statutes, and commandments are still here. Read on.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
All they that keep it shall come to life. Read on.
But such as leave it shall die.
Meaning, if you keep the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to come to life. But if you leave it, you shall die. Meaning this, you think you living right now. You think you living your best life doing the silhouette challenge, doing the busted challenge, being a homosexual, aborting your babies, being a drug dealer. You think you living your life, but you spiritually dead right now. Right. You are dead. And like the Lord told Ezekiel, what the Israelite school of UPK is doing, the priests and prophets, we prophesy in the valley of dead man's bones, man. That these bones may come to life, and the bones that's coming to life is Israel, man. You coming to life right now if you keep the law, but if you leave them, you die. And which makes your fake Israelite leaders so evil, and what makes your pastor so evil. They tell us that it's all right to smoke weed, be a homosexual, be a whore and a whoremonger, and it's still an abomination to the Most High. Go back to Matthew.
Come. This is the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 18.
Read verse 19.
Verse 19 is like, whoever Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments. Let's talk about you, Creflo Dollar. Because you know Chloe Bailey, that poor sister is a Christian. Just like Cardi B, just like Meg Thee Stallion, just like Jay-Z, just like your favorite rapper, just like your grandma, your auntie, and your uncle, just like Louis Farrakhan, just like your favorite poor minister. Guess what? They all Christians. And they teach us to break the commandments. Read on.
And shall teach men so.
And shall teach men so. Being a homosexual and a pedophile was a learned behavior that the Christian church perpetuates every day. Also, Marab brought a story not too long ago about a pastor that was having an orgy on the altar. Good night. Just goes to show you, man, just how evil the church is, man. And they teach us to break the least commandments, man, and teach men so. Read on.
Oh God. He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar and Louis Farrakhan, guess what? They're going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Your fake Israelite leader, your Christian Israelite leader, and your homosexual pastor and imam, guess what? They're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. I pray you understand. Read on.
But whosoever shall do and teach them.
And whosoever shall do and teach them, hold on, who's doing and teaching them? Who's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, doing it, walking in them, and teaching brothers and sisters so? It's the I.S.U.P.K, man. Read on.
The same shall be called great in the kingdom.
The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And you got to ask yourself, do you want to be called great in the kingdom? Or do you want to be the least? You could be great right now in America, being a whoremonger, being a homosexual, smoking all the weed. You could be great right now in the evil, wicked kingdom of the oppressor. And be least in the kingdom of heaven. I'd rather be great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
Come into the I.S.U.P.K, brother and sister. There's no, I'm going to say this one more time. You think you living your best life right now in the world. You're not. You're not. You are spiritually dead. Right. And it's sad. And it goes to show you just how weak our people have become, being still at the foot of the oppressor. It was shameful to see that sister Chloe Bailey crying because brothers and sisters was upset with her transitioning into a whore. She shouldn't want to be a whore. She shouldn't. But her pastor, Beyonce and Jay-Z and Hollywood and the oppressor, they want her to do that. And she thinks we're supposed to want her to do that too. Because you can't correct them nowadays. At the I.S.U.P.K, we correct our people. We check our people.
Right. You
transgress the laws, statutes, and commandments, we're going to tell you about it. You want to know why? Because unlike your Christian leader, unlike your fake Israelite leader, unlike your imam, we love blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians, man. We love our people so much that we correct you. We check you when you're wrong. And that's what we're supposed to do. How can your pastor call himself a man of God when he's enabling you to be a wicked sinner, man? He's not going to enable you in here. You could be a whore or a homosexual and walk in here, but you can't remain that way, brother and sister. I pray you understand. You're going to have to change to be up in here. Right. You're going to serve the Lord. You're going to honor the Most High here in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, man. And the saddest thing is our people struggle, man, with our flesh. We do. You struggle with it. You struggle with your flesh each and every day. And it's a battle. Coming up in here and walking through these doors is the hardest thing on this earth to do. Right. It is. Because it's so easy. It is so easy to do everything that is evil and wicked in the world. As a matter of fact, give me Proverbs 16 and 25. Give me Proverbs 16 and 25. Go ahead in the car.
So, is time check 8:31?
Come to what? Man, where'd the time go? I didn't get my topic. Go ahead in the car.
Well, I had to check myself earlier. I was like, man, let me stop blowing up because I've been doing this all day.
Good night. Go ahead, I buy.
Okay, well, good, sir. Speaking on the kingdom of heaven, it lasts forever. So,
right. Give I buy y'all here. The kingdom of heaven is going to last forever. temporarily happiness now. You know what that temporarily happiness now? You sleeping with that whore or that white woman, sleeping with that homosexual, smoking that weed. It feels good at that moment, right? But guess what you feel afterwards? That regret, that sorrow. It feel good at the moment, but everything that feel good ain't good for you. You got what I asked for, Ibaya? Read.
If I could say one more thing.
Go ahead, Ibaya.
In the kingdom of heaven, you don't have to keep the law anyway, or die. So you might as well keep it now.
Get like by the hand. And which is so heavy about what Ibaya said, you gonna keep the law, statutes, and commandments in the kingdom anyway. Why not start now? Why not strive to get a crown?
Right.
What, Ibaya? Go ahead, brother.
Everything that's been said, I agree with it, but this, I want to throw this in with it. Now, this pertains to my situation that happened to me recently.
Go ahead, bro.
Before I got incarcerated, I did 13 and a half years in prison. 11, you know what I'm saying? And before I got incarcerated, as for my marriage life with my wife and the whole circle of my life, it was straight, you know what I'm saying? Like forward and everything like good, you know what I'm saying? As far as living for God. Now, as far as, and even though I was going to the Christian church, it was like stuff that we preaching about. That's what my mom was on. So I didn't necessarily agree with everything that I was in the Christian church, but that's where I was when I was young. Never been a member of a Christian church, but I had to go because my mom. What I'm saying is, when I was like 22, then as soon as my life got to that point, where I felt like, man, this is where it's supposed to be at. That's when my life started rambling and started losing everything, and I just started, like, it's not the house, it just started something that was going on around me. And I honestly did, I would say, mental breakdown, you know what I'm saying, which is what the black psychologist that was my first psychologist told me in prison, you know, the white person tried to tell me some other stuff, which I ain't trying to hear anyways. What I'm saying is, doing that 13 years ago, you could imagine what was going on with me when I got out since May now. But specifically recently, now, I watch porn sometimes, you know what I'm saying, but think about it. A few days ago, it was too poor, like, now I'm dealing with this, you know what I'm saying? And I started studying the UPK. Now, and it was feeling better than when I was watching the porn. But then the next day, reason why I ain't got my phone on the charger because I lost my charge. I planned on my phone. I was studying it, you know what I'm saying? And I planned on doing it like nightly until I got like at least enough, and I lost my charge. And that's like I'm looking at that as spiritual, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never had a problem losing my charger. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you an example, brother. I'll tell you what happened with me, and which is heavy, which you bringing out, right? Before I came into the truth, I was a wicked nigga like everybody else. I was a 5%. You know what I mean? I thought, you know what I mean, the black man was God. I always knew the white man was the devil. But was still smoking weed, messing with white whores, doing every evil thing under the sun, right? But I always had a respect for the Israelite school of UPK. And I always respected Commander General Yohanna. Always did. I always had that respect and love for that brother, man. Even as a wicked nigga in the world. And slow but surely, as I started to fade and question, you know, the 5% belief system in Islam, I started gravitating more and more towards the UPK. And my turning point, I'll never forget it, man. I was riding on that 101 trolley right there, that same 101 trolley that ride over here in the back of 69th Street. I used to ride that going to a slavery, man. And I would watch Black Watch vividly. You know what I mean? I'd be like, man, I would get closer and closer, and you know what I mean, and studying and listening to Commander General Yohanna and the generals. And one day I had a situation with an Edomite, you know what I mean, manager at the slavery. And I got into it with him. In that moment, after I got into it with him, I never forget the previous Black Watch, though. You know, Commander General Yohanna was hammering that the white man was the devil. And I would always say it, but when I got into that altercation with that devil, that verbal altercation, I realized he was the devil. And I decided to change my life. I woke up one morning and said, man, after a bad experience, I said, man, I'm going to stop smoking weed. I'm going to stop messing with the whores. I'm going to leave, you know what I mean, the heathen women alone. I'm just going to be for my people. And then my buddy, my homie, man, who I came, you know what I mean, to the school with, the day he called me and said, yo, the truth is right up the street. It's right down the block, Yediah, let's go. I had a demon on me, y'all, that did not want me to walk through these doors. Like I was getting ready. I was battling with myself like, man, I want to be a little learned first. I want to study more. But it was a demon on me that did not want me to come into these doors. And I had to check myself and look at myself in the mirror and think, what the hell am I so afraid of? And I'll never forget it. I walked through those doors. Precinct Officer 1000 Malalakia was on Shamar. You know what I mean? Patted me down and everything. I'm like, oh man, brother, searching me. And after I got patted down, man, 12 Shield General Mayaka Allah. I don't know if you remember. When I walked in them doors as a young man, my first day in class, General Mayaka looked me in my face, man, and nodded like, I didn't know who he was at first. You know what I mean? I'm mind in the days. And then I sat down and he came up and started teaching and told me and my brother that we couldn't sleep with whores no more, smoke weed, and eat tuna. My brother was like, God damn. And he was like, brother, I know it's rough. But I already done put that stuff behind me before coming through these doors. And my homie that was begging me to go to class with him, he ain't been back since. He's still smoking weed, messing around with whores. But I decided to change my life around because I came in here and I realized this is the home of the truth here in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
This is the home of the truth right here. And I thank the Most High every single day, for bringing me into this truth, man. The Lord brought you here for a reason. It's not going to get easier for you. I'm not going to tell you that. Your journey is going to get harder because Christ said it himself. We are going to be tempted. We have to suffer for his sake. We are going to be tempted. But the Lord ain't going to put nothing on you, know what I mean, that you can't handle.
Right.
We each have our own battle. But guess what? It don't mean you got to fight alone. You know how you fight those demons at home, brother? You know how you fight them demons at home, sister? You tune into class. Tune in, sign in, watch these classes. If you can in your zone, come to class. I had to come to class every day because them demons would constantly hit me and be like, yo, go do that, yo, do that. It got to the point where Captain Nakai was like, Captain Nakai had to pull me to the slide in the car after class. I was like, yo, what the fuck you come here every day? And I'm like, Salaka said, if I don't come every day, I'm going to be in the world doing this, that, and the third. He was like, Khan, well, make sure you fucking come every day. And Lord knows I was here every single day. And I'm still here every day. Right. And guess what? For y'all have to understand, Akim and Akwafim, you are not going to be able to beat these demons by yourself. I would not be able to overcome my demons if it wasn't for the priests and prophets and the brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. And I thank the Most High in Christ for them. Go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah, if I could, you know, it's not, if I could, all right, y'all two brothers and Officer Marab, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got busy schedules. Y'all got windows that is magnificent. And guess what? Y'all is always there. It's like, I know Wednesday, I'm going to see how far. I'm going to see Officer dying all through the week because that's your dedication. You know what I mean? And that's what all of us need, man. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you ain't be able to make it. But damn it, man, you gotta come here as much as you can, man. You know what I'm saying? Make it every day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna make you into a better person and get you more, it gets you like an arrow, man, going straight forward. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a sanctuary. The sanctuary is supposed to be a place where you safe at.
Right.
Is when you get yourself cleaned up.
That's right.
You know what I mean? This is where, you know, what they call a baptism. You know what I'm saying? It's called a baptism, getting clean. You know what I mean? Stopping all the addictions of the world, man. All the thing the world gonna give you is nothing but pure addictions. You falling into lust, man. You know, loving drugs and whores and things that had to deal with whores. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing that is a lot of us, you understand, a lot of us Israelites, man. You know what I mean? One of the main things that a lot of us, it's a battle, is pornography.
Listen.
You know what I mean?
It is. It's a battle. It's out there. Officer Marab called it pornogram. You can forget about the Twitter. That's all you see. And every brother and sister has a different fight. But in order to fight and battle these demons, you got to tune into class. You got to watch class. And you got to get counsel, man. You got to get counsel for that. And which is heavy. As a matter of fact, Nakar, I buy hold in 1 Peter 4:1. Nakar, give me 2 Timothy 3:12.
Okay.
Give me 2 Timothy 3 and verse 12.
We're in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua shall suffer persecution.
If you live godly in Christ Yahushua Mashiach, you shall suffer persecution. I mean, the things is going to happen to you. If you're going to live, you know what I mean, and do the will of the Most High Christ, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you're going to suffer persecution. Persecution is going to happen. Meaning you're not just going to get a free ride. Things are going to get harder for you. I hate to tell you this, but you know what, though? You don't have to suffer this alone. You don't have to battle alone. One thing I can truly say by coming into the I.S.U.P.K, when I walk through these doors, I forget that I'm in hell. I forget that I'm in hell out here in the world, being out here in, you know what I mean, in America, being in Babylon, man. Being in this truth will make you forget about that. And that's why it's important to understand that you are going to suffer, you know what I mean, for Christ's sake. You're going to have to. You're going to have to prove yourself each and every day. Paul said, you know what I mean, when I am weak, I am strong. Because Paul had a thorn in his side, and he went to the Most High and said, man, Lord, Paul went to the Most High 3 times and said, please, Lord, do you think there's thorn from my side? And the Most High told Paul, you all right. You all right. You all right. When you weak, you strong. My grace is sufficient for thee. Meaning, the grace the Most High gave us is sufficient for us. Meaning, when we weak, brother, we strong. At our weakest moments, you'd be surprised how strong you are if you stand fast on this truth.
Right.
But read verse 13. Because I know you see, read verse 13 in the car, because I know you see everybody in the world doing evil, being whoremongers, being homosexual, smoking all the weed in the world, living their best life. But guess what happens to them? Read on.
But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Meaning, don't envy man what they going through, because you don't know what they're going through. Their situation is waxing worse and worse. Go ahead, Nicole.
It's a lot, sir. You know, and most people know that those people that do the most wickedness, people that do wickedness, you know what I mean, those celebrities do nothing but wickedness. So now in 2020, carrying over to 2021,
right,
so many rappers and actresses done died of COVID-19 or just by a gun bullet. A lot of them been getting shot, you know what I mean? And just in the cities, period. You know what I mean? In Philadelphia alone, man.
Right.
Rappers been getting shot. You know what I mean? Known celebrities. One got shot in the foot. You know what I mean? Got shot in the pinky toe.
Good night.
You know what I mean? Going to jail, facing scrutiny. Not even getting a fair trial. They was like, oh no, you did it. He was the main one on social media, just glorifying women and degrading themselves.
Good night, man. And that's the type of nonsense we got to separate from, man. We got to separate from things like that. We have to.
Right.
Hey, Bob, you got what I'm holding?
Okay.
You still got Proverbs?
Come.
Yeah, give me Proverbs 16 to 25 over for sure.
Come.
And then go be 1 Peter, the 4th chapter.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man.
There's a way that seemeth right unto a man. There's a way that seemeth right. You think being a whoremonger seems to be right, sleeping with all different type of whores and throwing them away. Your sister, you sleeping, you know what I mean, with different men that's not your husband, being a homosexual, smoking weed. You think that feel right? It feel right to you, right? Read on.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
But the end thereof are the ways of death. Meaning those ways will lead to your death, man. We have to understand, man, we have to do better as the Lord's chosen people.
Right.
As Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, I cannot stress this enough. This is the time to examine yourself and say, man, I have to do what the Lord said. I got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. I cannot continue to do the things that the oppressor wants me to do. Give me 1 Peter 4th chapter.
Oh God. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Christ have suffered for us in the flesh.
Christ suffered for us in the flesh. How did he suffer? An innocent black man died so we can come into the truth. So we can have an opportunity to come back to the Father, man. Christ did nothing wrong, man. Christ was perfect. But he gave up his own life so we can have a chance to come back to the Father. Read on.
Arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Arm yourself likewise in the same mind. How the hell can you go and smoke weed after realizing what our King did? How can you go on and be a whore and be a whoremonger, man, and sleep, you know what I mean, with a woman that's not of your nation? To sleep with a white woman or an Arab or a Chinese or a Japanese woman, or be a whore or be a drug dealer, to be a murderer and aborting your baby, man. We got to have the same mindset of Christ. Read on.
For he that hath suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin.
He that suffer in the flesh have ceased from sin. Meaning, when you stop sinning, when you stop doing all the evil that the oppressor wants you to do and keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, guess what? Sin will cease from you. You good. You all right. You're going to suffer persecution. It ain't an easy road, but guess what? It's the road that we have to walk. Paraphrasing Deuteronomy 8:6, we have to walk in the ways of the Most High. And how do you do that? Walk in the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Read on, I.
Verse 2, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men.
Man, you should no longer live in the lust of men, man. Meaning there shall no longer shall live in the rest of his time in the lust, in the flesh to the lust of men. Meaning you should no longer live, you know what I mean, to please your flesh, to sleep with those whores, to go out there and smoke weed. Because smoking weed feels good to your flesh. Eating pork feels good to your flesh. Sleeping with them whores feels good to your flesh. Being a whore yourself feels good to your flesh. But you have to cease from that. No longer shall you live in the rest of your time in the flesh to the lust of men, to the lust of your oppressor and these other nations, man. But do this. Read on.
But to the will of God.
But to the what?
Will of God.
But do it to the will of God, meaning do what the Lord said to do. That's why we have these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. We got to live according to the will of God. And so many pseudo-Christians talk that nonsense, talking about how I love God. I love Christ. Christ is my husband. But you being a whore. You being a whoremonger, brother. Sleeping with white women, sleeping with Chinese and Japanese women, African women. You selling drugs. You hate your brother and your sister. You a murderer. Sister, you murdering your baby. You claim to do the will of God, but doing the will of God is doing what the Lord said to do, and that's keeping his law. Read on.
Verse 3. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
When we walked in lasciviousness,
Mm-hmm.
lust, excess of wine, rebellions, banquetings, and abominable idolatry.
Meaning you walked in the way of the heathen. You walked in the way of the Gentiles, man. You did lasciviousness. You did lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquets, and abominable idolatries. Following after the white man and the Africans and the Chinese and the Japanese, you did all these evil things. But now is the time to cease from that. Now is the time to walk in the way of the Lord, man. Nakar, hold Deuteronomy 8:6. And brother, if you could, hold Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12 for me. Read on, Nakar. Read on, Ibaya.
So God, verse 4. Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot.
Now they looking at you like you strange. You come into this truth and you change yourself. You know what they do? They looking at you like, hold on, man. You're not that same nigga that used to be with me. They used to roam and get them whores. And you ain't the same one that was smoking that Reggie with me, that Reginald. You weren't smoking that loud. You ain't that same nigga that was smoking that loud. My mother looked me in my face and told me after I became a trooper in the Israelite school of UPK that you don't even seem like my son no more. You seem like a different man because I am. That wicked Negro is gone. And that's how they gonna look at you. They like, hold up. They think it's strange that you don't want to smoke weed and be a whoremonger, and be a murderer no more. Now they looking at you sideways like, who that nigga? Who he? That ain't the nigga I know. I don't know Yediah. I don't know Nakar. I don't know I. Come on now. What's your name, brother?
Dante.
I don't know young man Dante. They don't know you no more because you changing your life for the better and doing what the Lord said to do, man. Read on.
speaking evil of you.
Now they speaking evil of you. They're like, well, that nigga ain't shit. Who he think he is? That nigga used to smoke weed. That nigga used to be with them whores. He smoked that Reggie. He used to believe in the same conspiracy theories. You'd be surprised, man. When you stop doing the evil of this world, them same people, them oppressors and them same wicked Negroes, man, they're going to look at you sideways and they're going to speak evil of you. You should expect that. Your mama is going to turn on you. Your favorite auntie is going to turn on you because you don't want to live like the oppressor. You don't want to be a wicked, evil bastard no more because you don't want to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Valentine's Day because you want to do what the Lord said to do and not transgress his laws, statutes, and commandments. Now they're going to speak evil of you. And you should expect that. That's how you know you're in the truth. If you're not suffering persecution, how you know what I mean, you're in the truth. If everything just went right for you every single day, what would be the point in that? The Lord is going to test us, man. And the point is not to fail. Because Satan is right there telling the Lord, well, I.S.U.P.K is a bitch ass nigga. He be a bitch. Christ Yahweh Shai, like, the Lord, I.S.U.P.K ain't no bitch. And the Lord, like, yeah, Satan, I.S.U.P.K ain't no bitch. Most of Christ, like, no, I.S.U.P.K ain't gonna fold. He ain't no bitch ass nigga. The car ain't no bitch ass nigga. Dante, he ain't no bitch. He ain't no punk ass nigga. Guess what? I'm gonna show you. And it's the same thing the Lord did with Job. Satan came up, to show you that Satan is not against the Most High, that he's under the Most High, and Satan loves the Most High more than you silly fake Israelites and Christians do. Satan said, well, Job only served you because you give him everything. And the Most High said, oh, really? I'm gonna let you go down there and take some things away from him. Job ain't no punk ass nigga. Guess what? Job ain't gonna falter. Job gonna stand strong on this, man. Job really loved me. Satan tried to test Job and prove that Job didn't love the Most High, and Job did. Well, now it's our time, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, to stand strong like Job, to show that we love the Lord, to suffer this persecution, to prove to Satan wrong, man, that we don't love the world, that we don't love the evil of it, that we love the Most High, that we love our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach, man. There any more, I buy?
That was in verse 4, sir.
That was in the verse 4? Read verse 5.
Verse 5. Who shall give account of him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead?
Ready to judge the quick and the dead. Meaning, ready to judge the quick and the dead. Meaning those who are spiritually dead. And that's why the Lord told Ezekiel to prophesy in the valley of dead man bones. Which we doing, man? We changing our life for the better, man. We doing that. As a matter of fact, let's drop this. The car, you got what I asked for?
Okay.
Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, and verse 6. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God.
Therefore, thou shalt keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yahweh, man. We got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, man, if we want to make it in this evil society, man. Read on.
Come to walk in his ways.
To walk in his ways. What does it mean to walk in the ways of the Most High? To do what the Lord told us to do, man. The Lord told Ezekiel, man. The Lord told Ezekiel, he does not revel in our death. The Lord requires of us obedience. And it's time for us to obey the Most High. And how do we do that? You got what I asked for, brother?
Revelation 14, whatever it says.
Yeah, read Revelation 14 and verse 12.
Here, Revelation 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints.
Here is the patience of the saints. We are the Most High saints, man. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Read on, brother.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
They that keep the commandments of God. Meaning we have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yahweh. Read on.
In the faith of Jesus.
And the faith of Jesus. Meaning we have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and have faith in our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
Right.
That's what we have to do as the Lord's chosen people, man. We have to do that. Hey, Bob, give me Zephaniah 2 and 1, and I'm going to close out with that.
Okay.
Give me Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Gather together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. We have to understand that we are the Lord's chosen people, that we have to separate from this evil, wicked society. They do not value us, man. They do not give a damn about us. We have to gather ourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire. As a matter of fact, Nakar, give me Colossians 2:8. And I give me 1 Peter 2:9. I'm going to close out with them. Give me Colossians 2:8 first, Nakar.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Meaning, don't listen to them silly charlatans, man. Don't listen to them Egyptologists. Don't listen to that pastor, that imam. Don't listen to Farrakhan. Don't listen to Creflo Dollar. Don't listen to TD Jakes. Don't listen to Geno Jennings with the bald head, man. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them evil, wicked brothers, man, that masquerade in the oppressor's purple.
Right.
Don't listen to them. They are going to read it again.
Verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Through philosophy and vain deceit, meaning they talk a good game. They talk a good game, masquerading as the priests and prophets, but they spoiling you, man, through vain deceit and philosophy. Meaning they don't know what the hell they talking about. The real priests and prophets are right here in the I.S.U.P.K, man. They ain't no different than your evil, wicked pastor and imam. Read on the car.
That's right. After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of men. Rocking that purple because the Roman triumphant rocked purple. The Roman royalty rocked that, and they want to be just like they white daddy. That's why they wear it. That's why Christ said, "Ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you shall do. And you was a liar from the beginning, and the father of the lie." Go ahead, Nicole.
So, sir, it's just so ironic that they love that royal purple, and they carry the spirit of Judas.
They definitely do. You carry the spirit of Judas, man. Being rebellious, being evil, being jealous, disgracing the I.S.U.P.K, disgracing Commander General Yahanna, following after a man that couldn't stay in this truth so he could follow after his own lust, man. No different than your imam and your pastor. Gather yourself together here in the I.S.U.P.K, man. Is there any more in the car?
Come. After the rudiments of the world.
After the rudiments of the world, meaning they follow after the Romans, following after the white man, following after America. Read on.
And not after Christ.
And not after Christ. They're the same ones that crucified Christ. They're the same ones that came up against Christ with the Pharisee and the Sadducee. You got what I asked for, right, Bada?
Yeah. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation.
We have to understand, Israel, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. We are a chosen generation. You in here in the I.S.U.P.K for a reason. Do not drop your sword, man. Do not drop this sword.
Right.
This sword, man, when you die, you're supposed to die with this sword in your hand.
Right. You're
supposed to die with your sword in your hand like my brother, Priest and Officer Makatazar, man. May he rise again. My brother died with his sword in hand, man. You're supposed to die with your sword in hand. Read on.
A royal priesthood.
A royal priesthood. We are a royal priesthood, man. The priesthood is only here in the I.S.U.P.K, man. Read on.
And holy nation.
A holy nation, a separate nation. A separate nation. We're supposed to be separate. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Read on.
A peculiar people.
A peculiar people, a special people. Ain't nobody more special than the blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, man. Read on.
That ye should shoot forth the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
You were called out of the darkness of this world and called into his marvelous light, meaning being called into the truth, being called into the I.S.U.P.K under command of General Yahanna, man. This is where the Most High Christ dwells, man. The Most High Christ dwell here only in the I.S.U.P.K. And that being said, this is the Wednesday night biblical law class. I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Yediah. Make sure y'all tune in to Black Watch every Monday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Make sure you tune in to General Zion on Monday, man, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Make sure you tune in to General Allah's new show, Ask Ye the Prophets. Send in your questions to AskYeTheProphets@gmail.com and we will get to them, man. Make sure you tune in to Cross the Line Radio with Captain Tazariak and Captain Katazar, and tune in to One West Radio with my big brother, Priest and Captain of 13,000 Gadol Hall, and my brother, Priest and Officer of 1,000 Double Wine, man, his show Practical Knowledge. And with that being said, I'm Priest and Officer of 1,000 Yedai, and I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer of 500 Nakar.